In this video, we show you how we recreated this scene from Breaking Bad using the latest action camera from DJI, the Action 2, and then we test this camera out in a few other ways as well. And thanks to DJI for sponsoring this video and sending us this camera to try out. And before we dive into working with this camera, I just want to give you a brief overview. The Action 2 is this small cube, and what sets it apart from other action cameras and even the Osmo Action is it has this magnetic modular design. So you can clip the camera unit onto the front touchscreen module like this, so you can see your shot when you're facing the camera. And there's also other accessories like the magnetic lanyard, which is super useful. And then there's also 1/4-20 mounts for tripods and all that other stuff. It's capable of shooting 4K at 120 frames per second. It has a new and improved horizon steady stabilization, and this camera module itself is water resistant up to 10 meters. Oh, and it weighs like 56 grams or about 2 ounces. So while our Breaking Bad scene was not overly complicated, it's just 6 shots, let's break down how we did it. The first shot was simple enough. We wedged a mini tripod into the gutter above our garage, and using the ball head attachment, we were able to angle the camera down. Then we connected the Action 2 to the app on our phone so we could ensure we got the framing right. We also used the app to start and stop recording. So Breaking Bad was shot on film, but even so, throughout the series, they often integrate this object point of view into their scenes. So it could be the ground, a clothes dryer, a shovel, etc. The scene we chose to recreate features the point of view from the gasoline can that Jesse carries. Okay, so now we're going to attach the camera to the gas can, and we have it on this little mini tripod, and so we're going to tape it to the bottom of the can, and it has a ball head joint so we can kind of angle the camera up just like they do in Breaking Bad. Okay, so we have the front-facing LCD screen right below the camera, so I can kind of see the shot from this angle, make sure it's looking good, make any adjustments, and then hit record and go. And scene. All right, so the next shot is kind of just a locked off stationary shot, but I think we can just do handheld with rock steady on, and it should look pretty locked down. He stops, and then kicks like that.
Could you go back over here? Can you just kick like as close to the door as you can?
Oh, like over here?
Yeah. Yeah, that's perfect.
So in Breaking Bad, that shot is completely like locked off tripod shot, and it's kind of jarring because everything else is so kind of frantic. So we're gonna do it again with rock steady turned off and just get some handheld movement in there.
Rolling.
This next shot took a few tries to get right, kicking the door open just right, making sure the can was spraying out gas in the right amount, etc.
I think that's it.
For the shot following me in, Rachel turned off stabilization so we could have this haphazard handheld motion. This whole scene is such an emotional and intense part of the series, and I'm absolutely a horrible actor in case you couldn't already tell, so it did take us a few tries to get right. And it's worth noting here we should have used the waterproof case because the front-facing touchscreen module is not waterproof, but it didn't get too wet and it still works fine, but just make sure to use that case if you're gonna get that screen wet. Feels so ridiculous. So that was it, fairly simple, and then I actually had a song that I made a year or two ago inspired by the music from this scene, so that helped us put the finishing touches on our recreation. Next, we brought the Action 2 on a bike ride. We're just gonna go side by side?
Yeah, I'm ready for one.
Then on a walk with the boys. Then for a bit of a car ride. We found ourselves just looking for surfaces where we could just slap the magnetic side of the Action 2 on for quick mounting. And then for anything that's not magnetic, you can use different accessories made for the Action 2, or even just like a metal clamp can give you the surface that you need. Now earlier I mentioned the magnetic lanyard that this camera comes with. You basically put this under your shirt and add a magnetic piece to the camera so that it will face forward. And now you're good to go. You can check the app to view your shots, change settings, etc. We thought this was a pretty clever solution considering other chest mounts we've tried for other cameras are kind of cumbersome and uncomfortable, and this, you kind of forget that you're even wearing it. The rock steady stabilization on the Action 2 is also quite impressive. Most notably, we tried it out with the lanyard while riding a bike, and it was just super smooth. And even just walking handheld with a camera, it makes getting nice shots just really easy to do. I did an audio test with the Action 2 to see if it's something that a vlogger could use and not worry about adding external mics or anything like that. So I want to do a quick audio test with the front touchscreen attached to the camera module to see how well it's picking up my voice, if there's enough clarity, enough depth, etc. So here's exactly what it sounds like. I was really surprised how good this sounded. Usually mics on action cameras tend to sound really thin, but this did a nice job picking up the lower frequencies of my voice. One of the reasons for this is the touchscreen module has 3 microphones plus the main camera's built-in microphone, which gives you a 4 microphone matrix for stereo audio recording. So we have a pretty good frequency response with great clarity. So I popped off the front touchscreen module and I'm just using the camera itself to see how well it's picking up my voice, so on and so forth. So also not bad, but definitely not as good as it was with the front touchscreen module. So if you're planning on vlogging or you just want the best audio possible, get the benefit of those 3 extra microphones by using the touchscreen module with the camera. We decided to shoot everything in D-Cinelike, which is DJI's proprietary color profile that you may be used to if you've used their drones. So by design, this is pretty flat, straight out of camera, so we applied a little color grade just to bring back some color and contrast. Now, as far as downsides with this camera, we really haven't run into any problems yet. I did drop the camera onto a concrete garage floor from about 4 feet high, not once, but twice by accident.
You are clumsy.
Luckily, nothing shattered or broke, just a few cosmetic nicks and scratches. With the field of view options, we shot everything in the most narrow view possible, which is still really wide. We also have a macro lens that clips on magnetically to the camera, but it would be nice to have something in between the two. Several times when holding just the camera module itself, I would see my hand holding the camera was actually in the shot upon review. So in that case, you'd probably want to use the front facing screen to not only help you compose your shot, but give you a place to hold the camera a little further away from the lens. We didn't really know what to expect with this camera, and if you've been watching our channel for a while, you probably noticed we don't talk a lot about gear because generally we are more interested in the creative side of things and are pretty content with the gear that we already have. But honestly, we've had a lot of fun playing with this camera because it's so easy to use, and the magnetic lanyard is a really convenient way to bring some POV shots into our videos, so you'll likely be seeing more footage from this camera in future videos. Thanks so much for watching. We will be back soon with another video, so make sure you're subscribed, ring that little notification bell so you won't miss out when we post, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye. Whew, gotta do something about that smell.
Daniel, no!